Do you think the secret to making more money is to work more hours? What if there was another way, a better way? Before you run yourself into the ground, watch this video to learn how to work smarter, not harder. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite topics to talk about because growing up on the farm, we worked all the time. And, I developed a very strong work ethic because of it. And I'm positive it was the reason I got my first corporate job because when they were interviewing me, they kept saying, "Do you say you grew up on a farm?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" "Oh," they just said, we think you'll be a great fit." What they meant was being in a sales role means you work very hard and you work all the time. At least that's what they thought. But I'm going to share with you today how you can work smarter, not harder, whether it's in sales or scaling your business or anywhere in your life to get the results you want, but not be working all the time. So first of all, working more doesn't mean you are working on the right things. Like working harder, I hear this from people, "I'm just going to work harder." Well, if you're not working on the things that actually move your business forward, it's kind of a waste of time, right? Like a lot of times people are like, they'll sit at their desk from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. because they were trained in the corporate world to work that amount of time, right? Remember that training? And you're supposed to do that 5 days a week and then great things will happen. Well, what are you doing while you're sitting at your desk? I can remember when I first started my business, there wasn't a lot to do. I didn't have clients yet. I was mostly doing marketing and sales, but you can't sit there and do that all day. When I was in coach training at the NLP Institute of California in San Francisco, I remember listening to one of the coaches, and she said, when you're starting your business, don't sit at your desk all day. Go do the laundry. Go do whatever you need to do if you're working from home. But don't sit there and just pretend to be working. And that was a really important lesson for me. I'm not saying do the laundry during the day. I don't do that, but I am saying that taking less time to do the most important things is more effective than then just sitting at your desk all day thinking that you're working. So figure out what those needle movers are and figure out what's really going to move your business forward. Second, have a clear revenue goal and reverse engineer how you're going to get there. If you've hung out with me long enough, you know I'm a big believer in having a crystal clear revenue goal for the next 12 months. And it should be moving, right? So it's not just set it and forget it. I'm going to do it for 12 months and I'm done. It keeps moving out to the next 12 months and the next 12 months. And the reason is you want to always be projecting out the next 12 months so that you can work backwards from the end result. For example, if you want to create a $1 million business, that's $83,333 a month. So I would begin with creating a model month template. What do I want to sell inside of that $83,333 a month? And then once I know what I want to sell, I can create a marketing plan, right, that reverse engineers from there. But that marketing plan shouldn't be about working harder or working more. It's about having 3 ways to consistently market that's going to effectively bring clients in. Next, as you're thinking about, am I working hard all the time or am I working smarter? You want to make sure you're only doing your, what I call genius work. Those are the things in the business that you love to do that really move the company forward. For me, my genius work is around some coaching, mostly group coaching now. I also love to write. I love to interview guests on my podcasts, and I do love to lead our team. And those are also the things that are key to moving the company forward, right? And so those might not be the things that you love to do. That might not be your genius work. But it's important to stop and really think, what should I be doing in the business every day? If you're not good at marketing, maybe you need to outsource that. If admin isn't your zone of genius, which it probably shouldn't be, you're gonna have to find people to do that, right? So only focus on those things that you really enjoy doing and that move the company forward. Next, hire the best people to delegate your non-genius work to. This is an area I've made a lot of mistakes around, especially in the beginning, hired based on what I thought I could afford versus hiring people who might cost a little bit more, but they're way better at whatever the task is that I need them to do that I am, or they're experts in that area. Now, when I need something done in my company, I look for the best people. Sales in this area, who would this be a dream job for, right? And sometimes it is about hiring an employee, and other times it's about hiring maybe a specific contractor or hiring a company that can do it for you. Like maybe you need a company that can handle your social media. Maybe it's not just one person, but a company that could get it all done for you. And because you're investing a little bit more, the results are even better, right? And so that's the key there, right? Is to look at who you're hiring, what kind of results they've gotten before, and whether or not they can get the same results for you. Next, follow an intentional schedule every day that is aligned with you reaching your goal or goals. This can feel like an overwhelming task in terms of creating an intentional schedule because you're in your business right now and maybe you are working hard. So the thought of like not working 5 days a week or only working 10 to 2 every day might seem like an impossible thing. And most of our clients who come to the 2X Intensive course, our signature course, they're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. One client was working 100 hours a week. And so I get it. The idea of like, I don't even know where to start. You can just feel just really stuck in the day-to-day part of your business. But what I can tell you is that creating an intentional schedule that is really clear on the amount of hours you're going to work, and usually it's like way less than you're working right now, and it also includes you just doing your genius work, I'm telling you, can transform your business and your life. One of the exercises we do at the 2X Intensive is to have our clients to create a list of all the tasks that they're doing in a day, and next to each one, how much time they're spending on each one, so they can see where the majority of their time is going. And usually, like, there are some key areas that are taking up most of their time. Sometimes email is taking up hours a day for our clients. Sometimes admin work, sometimes client admin work that they don't need to be doing anymore is taking up a ton of their time. So the thing to remember is that when you create this intentional schedule, it should only be focused on you doing the genius work that you love the most, that moves your company forward. A lot of our clients too, like, they'll decide they don't want to work a Friday or a Monday, so they'll build their schedule over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The other thing that happens is this forces them to delegate. It forces them to hire additional support. It forces them to see where they really need, additional support in their business to grow it to that next level or to truly 2X their business. One of our clients who I'd mentioned was working 100, count them, 100 hours a week. And he didn't want to be. He had grown his business to about $500,000 a year, wanted to be over 7 figures. But of course he's thinking, to be over 7 figures, I'm going to be working twice as much, and I'm maxed out. There's nothing beyond the 100 hours unless I stop sleeping. And I said, totally get it. And the good news is, like, he was on the precipice. I'm like, you're right there. You're right at the edge. Like, just take the leap. And this is your opportunity to release hours by hiring someone who can really help you. And we quickly identified all the admin pieces of the business that he was still doing. And he was committed. Like, he was doing a great job. He was doing sales. He was doing marketing. He was doing admin. He was doing hiring. He was doing team support. He was just doing it all. And so we identified the key areas that were his zone of genius. And then we figured out what the other items were that he could delegate, which was a lot. And so he hired. And he found immediately that he was actually able to release 60, count them, 60 hours a week. So his work week went from 100 hours a week to 60 hours a week. Now, the person he hired wasn't working 60 hours a week. She was working 40 hours or less. But the reason is because inside of hiring, they also streamlined their processes and systems. So they either needed to do it, especially the CEO, he either needed to do it, delegate it, or there were some things that just didn't need to be done anymore. And they could delete those things. Or they created systems and processes that were more efficient and effective, so other things just got done faster. So again, he went to 40 hours. His new assistant went to 100 hours a week, just disappeared into the ethos, which is also possible for you. So since you're still hanging out with me, I have a pro tip for you, and it's this. And I talked about it a little bit, but I want to go a little deeper and wider. Hire the best people you can afford in every area of your business and your life. And this goes for, on a personal level, a house cleaner. If you want someone to do the laundry, like, hire the best that you can afford. Inside of your business, hire the best admin that you can afford right now. Hire the best people that can help you with marketing or social media that you can afford right now. When you stretch, and I'm not saying don't be profitable. I'm not saying have your model and template so that you can figure out how much you can afford. But when you stretch to that next level, it's like your company's been waiting for you to do this. It's like your company's been waiting for you to grow to that next level. And when you hire the best, your company will start to grow even faster. So we started by talking about the secret to making more money and whether or not it's really about working more hours. Hopefully I've blown that myth out of the water, because it's not about working more. It is about working on the right things in your business. It's about having a clear revenue goal and reverse engineering exactly how you're going to get there. It's about you hiring the best people to delegate your admin and other work to. It's about creating an intentional schedule that really feeds you and serves you every day. And it might be working less days a week. And finally, we talked about the importance of hiring the best people you can afford in every area of your personal and your professional life. I hope this video resonated with you, and if you liked it, stick with me because up next, we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of scaling to 7 figures. And remember, your 2X is waiting for you too.